Welcome to Intermediate Accounting Part 1 class. I am Romualdo Fernandez Credo, your teacher for this semester of the academic year 2020-2021. So this is a tutorial class or a special class. So please get a pen and a paper for you to write down important notes. Are you ready? If you are, then we shall start. Chapter 1 is about the accounting process. So before we proceed to the discussion proper, let us first go through our learning objectives. Number 1, enumerate the steps in the accounting cycle and briefly explain each. Number 2, state the different types of accounting records used in recording process. And number 3, enumerate the components of a complete set of a financial statement. So let us define accounting. Accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating economic information to permit informed judgment and decision by the users of information. So this definition was formulated by AAA, or the American Association of Accountants. So based from that definition, it is stated yung three important process in accounting. And what are those? We have identifying, of course, yung second is measuring, and yung third is important step is yung or communication of information. So basically, yun yung function ng accounting, to give information to whom? Dun sa mga decision makers, dun sa mga users of accounting information. So sino yung mga user of accounting information? So we have two types of user, yung direct user at saka yung indirect user. Yung direct user, ito yung mga nasa loob ng business, may control dun sa company, like yung management, owners, etc., etc. Yung nasa policy making board of directors kung sila ay sa corporation. Yung mga walang control dun sa company, sila yung mga indirect user of accounting information. For example, yung creditor, para mabayaran yung utang niya, supplier, yung government agencies, etc., etc. So sila yung gagamit ng information na ibibigay na magagawa lang through accounting. At para saan yung information na yun? Of course, for them to give appropriate or correct judgment, 'di ba? Dapat para tama kasi yung judgment, You must be informed. Dapat alam mo, may data ka para tama yung gagawin mong decision. May basis yung decision, hindi yung nag-decide ka wala kang basis. So dapat may information manggagaling sa system ng company. Accounting Information System. So accounting is an information system. And what is an accounting information system? It is of course, a system designed to collect and process transaction data and disseminate the financial information to interested parties. So yun, ang accounting information system. It is a set of interrelated activities and it has elements. Ang purpose nun ay to gather data, to provide relevant and timely information. Of course, for decision makers, no? So, mayroong subsystem para sa accounting information system. So, well, tama yung narinig nyo, no? So, yung accounting information system is a subsystem of a larger system, which is yung management information system. Accounting information system versus management information system. So, dun sa previous slide, na-discuss na natin kung ano yung accounting information system, no? So, it is a subsystem of an MIS. So, as you can see dito, so ano yung mga components ng management information system? Hindi lang siya accounting, no? May accounting dyan, may information system for marketing, may information system for finance, sa HR, etc., etc. So marami, depende yan sa type ng organization, no? Mas maliit, mas kukunti yung important lang, di ba? Halimbawa, kung maliit lang yung business, siguro accounting, ganon. At saka HR lang, pwede na. Pero pag mas malaki, mas maraming information ang kailangan nila. So mas madaming subsystem ang ma-create doon sa management information system. Kasi nga yung work ng management is to decide. Lagi siyang haharap sa decision making. Yun yung primary task ng management. So kailangan niyang ng correct information. For example, sa HR, di ba? Pag mag-hire, paano ba siya mag-hire? So, syempre, kailangan niya ng information kung sino ang i-hire. Ganun din. Sa finance, halimbawa, kailangan ng pera. Saan kukunin yung pera? So, kailangan ng data para ma-compare yung mga various alternative. So, ganon. Kailangan ng data para makapag-decide ng tama si management, no? So mas malaki yung business, mas complicated ang management information system. So anyway, dito lang naman, let us compare daw yung MIS at saka AIS. So yung MIS is a broader information system kasi it contain yung accounting information system. So, isa lang sa mga subsystem ang accounting information system. Accounting cycle. Accounting cycle represents the steps or accounting procedures normally used by entities to record transaction and prepare financial statement. So as stated, ang accounting cycle is a procedure, no? A step step-by-step procedure, a set of interrelated activities, no? So, may umpisa, merong end. Parang ganun, kaya nga cycle. Pag natapos yung dulo, mag-start ulit sa beginning, no? So, later we will discuss kung ano-ano yung mga steps or procedure dun sa accounting cycle. So, basta ganun yung accounting cycle. It is a series of activities or procedure that performs accounting system. At the end of it, dapat meron kang output. And what is that output? Siyempre yung report. Tinatawag natin kung meron dapat tayong mga financial statement. So later, di-discuss din natin ano yung mga financial statements. Yung complete set. Okay, so these are the steps in the accounting cycle. Ito na yung mga procedure sa accounting cycle. So we have ilan lahat? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, no? So there are 10 steps or there are 10 procedure. So unahin natin yung identifying and analyzing transaction. Of course, na-discuss nyo na to sa basic accounting, no? So nire-review lang natin. Nire-review lang natin yung accounting cycle. So identifying and analyzing transaction. So, ito yung pre-journal entry phase, no? So, pag na-analyze mo na, ready ka nang mag-journalize. So, ano muna yung identifying? Identifying, ito yung pina-classify mo yung transaction as to recordable ba siya or non-recordable. So, recordable siya kapag mayroon siyang effect doon sa ating accounting elements. And what are those accounting elements? Yung assets, liability, equity or capital, revenue, at saka expense. So kung may effect siya doon, ibig sabihin, recordable siya. Kung wala siyang effect, ibig sabihin, siya ay non-recordable. At pag non-recordable, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya mag-proceed doon sa next step. No? So, please take note of that. Kapag recordable siya, may effect siya sa ating accounting element, siya lang ang mag-proceed dun sa step 2, which is journalizing. Yung recordable, tinatawag din niyang accountable. And yung non-recordable ay tinatawag siyang non-accountable. No? So, ulitin natin. Recordable or accountable, non-recordable or non-accountable. So, pag sinabi natin may effect pala, balikan natin, yung transaction sa ating accounting elements, ibig sabihin lang nun is it's either mag-i-increase or nagdi-decrease yung accounting elements. Yun. And then, kapag na-identify mo na may effect siya sa ating accounting element, i-analyze mo na. So, ano ba yun? Saang accounting elements ba siya? Sa assets, sa liability, sa equity, sa revenue, at saka sa expense? Ano ba siya? Mag-i-increase ba siya? Magdi-decrease? I-analyze mo siya based sa rules of debit and credit. Para kung alam mo yung assets mag-i-increase, use the normal balance. Diba? So, wait lang. So, ano ang normal balance? Ang normal balance ng asset saka expense is debit, and ang normal balance ng liability, capital or equity at saka revenue ay credit. So anong significance ng normal balance? Kasi pag mag-i-increase yung account, gagamitin mo yung normal balance. So meaning, kapag expense at saka asset yan, ang normal balance niya ay debit. So pag i-increase mo, debit. Pag i-decrease mong credit, pagbabawasan mo. So, review natin. So, yun yung rule sa asset and expense. Diba? Yung mga vowel, magkasama sila. Asset and expense. Tapos, sa kabila naman, credit ang kanilang normal balance, yung liability, capital, and revenue. So, credit ang kanyang normal balance. So, ibig sabihin, pag mag-increase ang liability, capital, at saka revenue, i-credit mo siya. Pag magdi-decrease, i-debit mo siya. So, yun yung to cut it short, yung rule of debit and credit para hindi mo na i-memorize yung rule of debit and credit. Ayun. So, pag na-analyze mo na, proceed ka na sa step number 2, which is journalizing. No? So, gagawa ka na ng journal entry. So, pag na-analyze mo yan, alam mo na yung account, title na i-debit, at saka i-credit. So, for example, debit cash, 100,000, credit B, capital, 100,000. So, syempre, dapat equal yung debit at saka credit sa journal entry. So, anyway, ang journal entry na may isang debit at saka isang credit, ang tawag doon ay simple entry. Pero kapag more than one ang kanyang debit at saka more than one din ang kanyang credit, ang tawag doon ay compound entry. Okay, next step is, pang-third is posting. So, pagkatapos mo siyang i-journalize doon sa book of original entry natin, doon sa journal, sa general journal, ipopost mo na siya sa ledger. So, saan ka magpo-post? Sa ledger. So, itatransfer mo yung information. So, of course, marunong na kayo niyan sa accounting 1. Posting. Yung transfer of information from journal to the ledger ay, yun yung tinatawag nating posting. Number 4, preparation of adjusted trial balance. So pagkatapos mong ma-post, makuha yung difference ng debit at credit. Diba? Total mo yung debit, tapos total mo yung credit, tapos get the difference. Ang tawag doon ay footing of account. Diba? Pinut mo na siya, so mayroon na siyang balance. So yun ang ilalagay mo sa unadjusted trial balance. And then, pagkatapos mag-prepare ng adjusted trial balance, so ready ka ng gagawa ka na ng adjusting entries. So, anong purpose ba ng adjusting entries? To keep the accounts updated. Kasi sometimes pag nag-occur yung event, diba, after several periods, hindi na siya accurate. Hindi na siya accurate, so kailangan i-adjust para ma-update yung books. So, kaya tayo gumagawa ng journal entry. For example, pag bumili ka ng 1 year na insurance, ng July, kapag dinebit mo yan sa prepaid insurance, siyempre, correct yun as that date. Pero pagdating ng November o kaya December, hindi na siya accurate. Bakit? Kasi nga mayroon nang nag-expire na portion. Kaya kailangan na nating i-update. So, kailangan magkaroon ng adjusting entry. And then after ng adjusting entry, prepare ka na ng adjusted trial balance. So, dun sa unadjusted trial balance, i-consider mo lang yung adjustment plus or minus. Diba? Kung debit sila, parehas na debit, add. Parehas na credit, add pa rin. Pero pag hindi sila parehas, get the difference. Kung ano yung mas malaki, yun ang ilalagay mo sa na-balance sa adjusted trial balance. And then after ng adjusted trial balance, gagawa ka na ng financial statements. Diba? Ano yung mga financial statements natin? Mamaya, i-discuss natin yung complete set of financial statement. Tapos, since pa-end na, magkakaroon ka na ngayon ng closing entry. Iko-close mo yung book. Ano yung iko-close mo? Yung mga nominal account. Ano ang nominal account? Ito yung mga temporary account, yung revenue and expense. Tapos in addition, i-close mo din yung Drawings, kasi nasa temporary account din siya. I-close mo siya sa capital. And then yung balance ng income summary, i-close mo sa capital. So we have 4 closing entries. First is to close revenue, and then to close expense, to close drawings, and then to close the balance of the income summary account. I'm sure nagawa niyo yun sana nagawa niyo yun nung accounting 1. And then after that, mag-prepare ka ulit ng trial balance. Ang tawag mo naman this time is yung post-closing trial balance. So ang mag-appear na lang dyan sa trial balance mo ay of course yung mga real account. Ano ba ang real account? Yung assets, liability, at saka equity. Real account sila, bakit? Kasi hindi sila close at the end of the period. Unlike yung revenue and expense, close mo na nagkaroon ka ng closing entry. Kaya real account sila ang tawag. And then, yung last step is optional, yung reversing entry. Yung reversing entry, it is optional. Babaliktarin mo lang yung iyong adjusting entries. Double entry record keeping system. No? So ito yung heart ng accounting, yung double entry record keeping system. Ano ibig sabihin ng double entry system? Or ito yung tinatawag nating double nga, di ba? Kaya dual effect. No? Dalawa lagi ang effect ng every transaction. So sabi, pag may transaction, mayroon kang value received at saka value parted with. Laging mayroong value received. Sa lahat ng transaction, may matatanggap ka, may ibibigay ka. Parang ibig sabihin, ganun, ang double entry bookkeeping system. Dalawa lagi ang effect. Kaya nga double entry. For example, bumili ka ng ballpen. Siyempre, ang value received mo, ballpen. Ang value parted with mo, ang ibibigay mo, pera. Diba? Kung magbabayad ka. Pero pag hindi ka nagbayad, promise to pay. Liability, utang. Yung ibibigay mo, magpa-promise ka na babayaran mo yung ballpen. So, ganun pa rin. Dalawa lagi ang effect. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng double entry record keeping system. And yung value received natin, yun yung tinatawag nating debit. And yung value parted with natin, yun yung tinatawag natin na credit. Okay, so yung double entry record keeping system is naka-based sa concept ng duality. Ayan, or equilibrium daw. So yung duality, yun nga, ibig sabihin, dalawa lagi ang effect ng transaction. Value received saka value parted with. Yung value received, debit, and yung value parted with, credit. Equilibrium, ibig sabihin, equal lagi. So, dapat laging equal yung debit and credit. At all times, dapat. In every transaction. So, kapag mayroon kang journal entry, at ito total mo yung debit at saka credit, hindi siya equal. So, ibig sabihin, hindi correct yung iyong journal entry. Accounting records. So we have yung journal. Generally, we have yung journal at saka ledger. So yung journal, tinatawag nga niyang Book of Original Entry. Bakit siya tinawag ng Book of Original Entry? Kasi nga, it is where the transaction is recorded for the first time. So yung types of journal natin, dalawa, general journal saka special journal. So kapag maliit lang yung business at kokonti naman yung kanyang transaction, so isang record lang siya, isa lang ang journal niya rather, no? General journal lang. Doon i-record na lahat ng transaction ng business, no? However, kapag lumaki na yung business at masyado na siyang malaki, masyado nang marami yung kanyang transaction, hindi na kaya ng iisang book or nung bookkeeper na i-record lahat yung transaction ng business. Kaya hinahati na yon. So magkakaroon na siya ng special journal. So malaki na. So imagine you, for example, yung CSI. So ang daming bumibili doon araw-araw. So kaya bang i-record sa isang book? Hindi. So hahati-hati sa dami ng transaction niya, hindi na kaya ng isang libro. Baka isang araw lang puno na yung book. Kaya hahati-hatiin yung mga transaction. Kaya magkakaroon ngayon ng special journal. So ano yung mga special journal? We have cash receipts journal, cash disbursement journal, sales journal, at saka purchases journal. So kahit special journal na yon, meron pa din yung general journal. So magiging 5 yung books na sa kapag malaki na yung business, no? So in addition dun sa 4 na special journal, meron pa rin syempre yung general journal. So ano yung cash receipts journal? Dito nire-record yung lahat ng cash na marireceive. Kaya cash receipts. Yung cash disbursement, lahat ng babayaran, doon din ire-record. Cash disbursement. Pag nagbayad, doon lahat. Yung sales journal naman, dito naman ire-record yung mga sales on account. And then yung purchases journal naman, dito naman ire-record yung mga purchases on account. Ibig sabihin, hindi binayaran yung purchases. So, utang yung purchases doon sa purchases journal lahat. So, pag hindi nag-qualify yung transaction doon sa 4, syempre, meron pa rin general journal. Doon siya i-record. Next na books of account natin ay ledger. Tinatawag naman siya na book of final entry. Bakit? Kasi dyan naman na last na i-record yung transaction. After dun sa journal, itatransfer yung information sa ledger. So, pagkatapos sa ledger, wala na. Ilalagay mo na siya sa trial balance. Wala nang susunod na book. So, mayroon din tayong dalawang type ng ledger. Yung general ledger at saka subsidiary ledger. Yung subsidiary ledger lang naman is a supporting ledger dun sa may controlling account. Tinatawag natin controlling account kapag yung isang account ay marami siyang composition. For example, yung accounts receivable. Hindi lang naman yung isang tao may receivable. Kaya maraming tao yon. So, kailangan magkaroon siya ng subsidiary ledger kada tao. Sa equipment din, hindi lang naman iisa ang equipment ng company. May mga computer, depende sa type ng business, di ba? Halimbawa sa CSI, meron siyang cash register, meron siyang mga furnitures, gano'n. So, meron siyang printer, gano'n, di ba? So, madaming equipment. So, ang controlling account doon, ang main account is yung property and equipment. Tapos, magkakaroon ngayon ng subsidiary ledger, isa-isa yung mga yon. Ganon din sa accounts payable. Halimbawa, umutang ka, hindi lang naman isa pinagkakautangan mo. So, magkakaroon ka ng controlling account na accounts payable and then magkakaroon ka ng subsidiary para sa lahat ng tao na meron kang liability. So, parehas din lang naman ang ano ba ang purpose nun? Para ma-monitor mo din yung balance mo per dun sa tao. Magkano ang receivable mo kay A, for example, magkano ang receivable mo kay B, magkano ang payable mo kay D, magkano ang payable mo kay Z, for example, di ba? Kasi pag doon lang sa controlling account, walang breakdown, di ba? Kasi total ang nandun, total receivable, total account payable, total equipment, Ayun. So, sa ledger naman, sa general ledger, mayroon tayong forms, no? 3 forms. Yung to money column, review lang to, tapos nyo na sa basic accounting yun, di ba? two money column, yung parang nagre-resemble sa account, di ba? Yung debit saka credit yung magkabilang side niya. Tapos meron tayong three money column. Bakit three money column? Kasi debit, credit, balance. And then meron din tayong four money column. Bakit four money column? Kasi debit at credit, tapos yung balance may debit at saka credit pa rin. O yan. So, mayroon palang pre-provide na definition for ledger. It is a systematic compilation of group of accounts. At yun nga, yung dalawang type ng ledger, we have yung general at saka subsidiary ledger. Na-discuss naman na natin. Account. So, what is an account? So, this is the definition of an account. Is the basic storage of information in accounting. So, basic storage of information. Nasa piece of paper lang usually yan. So, for example, mayroon kang account for cash, mayroon kang account for land, mayroon kang account for accounts payable, etc., etc. Chart of accounts. Ano naman yung chart of account? It is simply the listing of accounts used by the entity. So, importante ito sa isang accounting system. Dapat meron siyang sariling chart of account para alam kung ano yung account titles na gagamitin. Di ba na-experience nyo yan sa accounting 1? Pag merong mga account na nakalista sa problem, mas madaling mag-journal entry. Diba? Kasi nga, alam mo, halimbawa, nag-increase yung assets. So, titingnan mo yung asset account, yung chart of account ng assets doon sa section ng assets. So, pamimili ka na lang doon kung ano ang gagamitin mong title para sa transaction. So, we also have yung types of account. So, we have yung real account, nominal account, mixed account, adjunct account. So, na-discuss na natin kanina yung real account. Real account or balance sheet account. Ito yung liability, asset, saka equity. Nominal account, ito yung mga revenue and expense. So, lahat ng revenue expense, nominal yan. So, kung nominal yan, i-close siya at the end of the accounting period. So, wala siyang balance. Zero out. Mixed account, ito yung account na meron pa siyang component ng assets, meron pa siyang component na expense. Kaya, yan yung reason kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng adjustment para i-separate yung nominal at saka real component niya. And then, yung adjunct account, ano yung adjunct account? It is an account added. It is an account added to the main account. So, lahat ng account, pag dinadagdag yan, ay adjunct account. Pero kapag binabawas yan, ang tawag mo naman ay contra account. So, any account that is deducted to the main account is a contra account. Example nga dyan ay yung withdrawal. Dinideduct siya sa capital. Yung allowance. Allowance sa accumulated depreciation. Trial balance. It is a list of general ledger account balances. It is prepared to check the equality of total debits and the total credit. So, bago ka mag-prepare ng financial statements, bago ka mag-prepare ng income statement, balance sheet, ganun, kailangan mo munang i-check kung equal yung debit and credit. So, yan yung purpose ng trial balance. So, i-check mo muna kung tama. Baka naman nagkamali ka ng recording sa journal at saka sa ledger. So, sayang lang ang effort mong pag-prepare ng financial statement kung hindi naman pala sila balance. So, to be sure, kailangan ka munang mag-trial balance. So, manggagaling yung amount sa trial balance dun sa general ledger. Pag pinot mo na yung ledger, meron na doon, kukunin mo yung difference ng total debit sa total credit. So, trial balance is just a tool to test the equality of debit and credit at hindi siya financial statement. Pakitandaan, hindi siya kasama sa financial statement. Okay, adjusting entries. Adjusting entries are entries made prior to the preparation of financial statement to update certain accounts so that they reflect the correct balances as of the designated time. So, correct, no? Yung mga prepayments at saka accrual kasi. So, yung mga yon ay correct lang sila as of dun sa date na ni-record sila. So, pag may natapos ng period, may nag-expire na, pwedeng may na-earn ka na doon sa unearned income, doon sa prepaid expense naman, mayroon ka nang na-earn na expense, na-incur na expense. So, paano kung naka-asset pa siya? O di, mali na. So, to update, yun yung purpose niya. To update, to correct yung record, kailangan magkaroon ng adjusting entries. So, ano na yung mga adjusting entries natin? Una is to recognize yung bad debts. Ano pa? Depreciation. Ano pa? Of course, para ma-recognize yung accrued expense at saka yung accrued income. Tapos yung prepayment and prepayments. No, diba? So, sana naalala nyo pa. Anyway, na-discuss naman yun sa basic accounting nyo na. Financial statements are the means by which the information accumulated and processed in financial accounting is periodically communicated to users. So, through financial statement, yung information nakakarating sa users of accounting information. Of course, for this decision making, para tama yung decision na para tama yung decision or para tama yung judgment ni management, dapat informed siya. So, kailangan mag-base siya sa financial statement. So, ito na nga yung complete list of financial statement. So, we have statement of financial position. Yan yung bagong title niya. Pero, marami pa rin tumatawag dyan na balance sheet. Statement of profit and loss. Yan, may tumatawag pa rin yan na income statement. Pero yung bagong title na niya is statement of profit or loss. O kaya statement of comprehensive income. Kapag meron kang other comprehensive income, component sa other comprehensive income. We also have yung statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows, at saka notes to financial statement. Of course, na-discuss na yan sa yung mga nakapag-prepare na kayo ng ganyan sa accounting 1. Pero mare-refine yan dito sa ating financial or intermediate accounting. Sorry. Dati kasi ang title ng subject is financial accounting. No? Pero ngayon, pinalitan na ng CHED, tinawag na lang nila itong intermediate accounting. Yun, methods of recording income and expenses. Regarding ito sa, may relationship ito sa yung adjusting entries. Depende kung anong method ang ginamit mo. Sa income, we have yung liability method at saka revenue or income method. Kapag meron kang accrued income, meron kang unearned income, so pwede mo siyang i-record muna as liability, no? So, i-record mo siya liability, debit cash, naka-receive ka ng cash, di ba? Doon sa hindi mo pa na-earn. So, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-record na revenue kasi nga liability method ang gagamitin mo. So, debit cash, pag naka-receive ka ng pera, credit unearned income. So, unearned income, liability yon. Tapos, later, pag may natapos ng period, mag-e-expire na yon. So, tatanggalin mo na sa liability, kaya i-debit mo sa unearned income, credit service income. Kung ano mang income yon. Anong income yung na-receive mo? Yun yung unang method. So, ulitin natin. Liability method, cash, credit, unearned income. Kapag income method naman, siyempre hindi mo gagamitin yung liability account, yung unearned. I-record mo na kaagad siya as income. So, debit cash, credit mo na kaagad service income o kaya rent income o kaya kung ano bang interest income, ganon. Basta na-receive mo pa lang yung pera. However, later, syempre, depende sa yung ginamit mo dito na method, yung gagawin mong adjusting entry. Kasi later, i-adjust mo kasi may mag-e-expire na dyan. Diba? May ma-earn ka ng income. So, yung ma-earn mong income, tatanggalin mo na sa liability kung liability method. And then, kung income method naman, sige, yung portion na hindi mo pa na-earn, tatanggalin mo din kasi nga hindi mo pa naman na-earn. Sa expense naman, we have dalawang method din. Pwedeng asset method at saka expense method sa prepayments. Kapag nagbayad ka in advance, pwedeng asset method. Prepaid. Prepaid insurance, credit cash, prepaid rent, credit cash. Ganun yung asset method. Tapos, i-adjust mo later, di ba? So, kapag na-consume mo na yung renta, syempre, debit, rent, expense na. Credit, prepaid yung magiging adjusting entry mo. Credit, prepaid, rent. Another is yung, kunwari, insurance. Pag i-adjust mo na siya, debit, insurance, expense, credit, prepaid, insurance na. Yung isang method para mag-record ng expense is yung expense na. Huwag mo nang gamitin yung asset, huwag mong gamitin yung prepaid account. So, expense na kaagad. Pag binayaran mo, insurance expense, credit, cash. Ganon. Rent expense, credit, cash. However, at the end of the period, baka meron pang hindi na-incur doon, di ba? So, tatanggalin mo siya sa expense kasi hindi naman siya expense, hindi pa siya na-consume. Di ba? So, ang mangyayari, babawasan mo yung expense. So, magsiset up ka ng prepaid. So, prepaid insurance, credit, insurance, expense. Para mabawasan yung unang ni-record mo as expense. Tapos, yung rent din, ganun din. Diba? Babawasan mo yung rent expense. So, debit, prepaid rent, credit, rent expense. Natandaan niyo pa ba yan sa accounting, basic accounting? Sige. So, i-message nyo lang ako kung kailangan nyo ng additional discussion para sa adjusting entries. Para gagawa tayo ng separate video para doon. So, kailangan kasi nakikita nyo, hindi lang nasasabi dito ng ganyan. No? So, nire-refresh ko lang naman kayo kasi tapos nyo yan sa accounting 1. Pero sabi ko nga, if there's still a need to discuss, kasi ang susunod na topic natin ay cash na. Dapat tayo next time. Pero sige, pag i-request nyo, di sige, gagawa ko ng video exclusively for adjusting entries. So let me know. So this is the last step in the accounting cycle. And this is optional, yung reversing entries natin. So reversing entries may be made on the following. So ito lang yung i-reverse mo, hindi lahat ng adjusting entry at the end of the year or at the end of the accounting period ay i-reverse, di ba? Ito lang ang i-reverse mo. Letter A, all accruals. So, lahat ng accruals, i-reverse mo. Pabaliktarin mo lang. Diba? Kung ang adjusting entry, halimbawa, yung debit, ganito yung debit, and then ganito yung credit, babaliktarin mo lang yung credit, i-debit mo, yung debit, i-credit mo. Kaya nga reversing entry. So, titingnan mo lang kung asaan ba doon yung accruals. Accrual ba yon? I-reverse mo. Kailangan mo i-reverse. Baliktarin lang. Babaliktarin mo lang yung adjusting entry. Yun na yung reversing entry. Optional ito pero. Letter B, prepayments. If it is recorded using yung expense method. Oh, please take note prepayments. Pero hindi lahat. Kapag ginamit mo yung asset method, hindi mo na kailangang mag-reverse. So, kailangan yung expense method lang. Unearned income. Initially recorded using the income method. Using the income method. Or yung revenue method. So, pag ang ginamit mo ay liability method dun sa pag-record mo ng unearned income, so hindi mo na siya kailangang i-reverse. So, ulitin ko lang, yung reversing entry, madali lang, di ba? Babaliktarin mo lang yung ginawa mong adjusting entry. So, hindi lahat babaliktarin or i-reverse. Okay, so that concludes the discussion of the accounting process. So, of course, meron na, sabi niyo, meron naman kayong book, so pakibasa na lang yung chapter 1. After nito, magkakaroon tayo ng assessment or evaluation. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng several days. Tapos, mag-quiz tayo sa chapter 1 bago natin i-discuss yung next chapter 2, which is cash. Okay, so thank you for your time. This is still your teacher in Intermediate Accounting Part 1 saying God bless.